Hello everyone, I'm Izzy from the Chronically Offline podcast, and today's episode is BPD versus MPD. This episode's going to be about that. We're going to be talking about some truths and stuff because, relatively speaking, we're not meant to get along. And you've been very pleasant to me. You've been very respectful. We've had no issues. We've had chats and stuff. So yeah, we're going to break in, showing some truths and stuff. We're going to have a laugh today. We're doing this a little bit different. You'll be able to tell by the questions that I'm going to be asking. Do you want to just say hello?
So my name is Ashton. I go under Behind the Darkness on TikTok. A lot of my channel is yes, education, but also showing you the differences and similarities between borderline and narcissistic personality disorder. As well as breaking stigmas in an edgy way intentionally to make a point. Now, of course, I always have that one person that's like, oh, you're just a salty narcissist that got hurt by a borderline, which is true. I won't deny that. But the reality is that the disorders are more alike than people think. And, you can't argue that when there's a 40% comorbidity rate. So.
For real. I mean, we was talking the other day and you sent me that test to do and I was like, go on, I'll do it. And I was like, I can't believe how high that was. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
But do you know what? I think one of my biggest issues is, if you want to call it an issue, is I find, and I have had to reel it in, I talk so much about myself. And I'm like, Izzy, stop. I've genuinely had to be like, Izzy, this isn't your fucking moment, stop. And I don't know, but yeah. So, but yeah, I'm really excited for this, guys. If you know anyone that would be interested in this stream today, give it a share. If you know anyone that goes around throwing the word narcissist around and hasn't actually got a fucking clue what it means, then share it to them. If you think you've got a narcissistic ex, get them in here,
No, bring them in. No, bring them in here. Bring them in here, because yeah.
So yeah. Okay. So, this makes me laugh. This. So, who actually causes more chaos in a relationship? Then, do you reckon it's BPD or MPD?
I will tell you. I think it's going to depend on the person. That's really difficult. Borderlines are definitely more emotionally unstable, in my opinion. It's just the nature of the disorder, but I think narcissists can cause more actual damage. They will go to farther lengths than some people with BPD.
It definitely, in my opinion, it depends, because it's I'll be honest, I'm in a lot of BPD groups, and I'm in cluster B groups on Facebook and stuff, and I'll have a read, and I have genuinely seen posts from people, that have personality disorders, and they'll put, right, I had a split and I ended up hitting my boyfriend, and I'm like, oh, that's abusive, mate. What do you mean?
And then let me guess, they were the same type of person that's like, well, it's trauma. I didn't mean to. I just want to be loved.
Yeah, it's come
no,
on,
that's
excusing abuse, should we?
Oh no,
Yeah.
no, and what a lot of people don't realize, that's extremely sociopathic. Rationalizing your own behavior like that. That's part of the criteria for ASPD.
That is true. That's actually very, very true. That's a good fucking point. That. Which one's worse, love bombing or emotional whiplash?
I would say emotional whiplash. I think that does a lot of damage, because the constant up and downs, then you're mentally fucked.
Yeah. You don't know where you stand. At least when you've got someone love bombing you, you know their intentions.
Yeah, I mean, at least you're being love bombed if you know what it is. But yeah.
Do you think people confuse NPD and BPD too often, or do we all just need therapy and to take a nap?
I think that it does get confused. I think a lot of these women that are diagnosed BPD
Mm.
are either misdiagnosed and are actually covert narcissists, or they have a comorbidity with NPD. Like, I'll say it again, the comorbidity rate's 40%. So like I've talked to a lot of other borderlines where I'm like, obviously I haven't said anything because you can't tell somebody that you think they have NPD, but or I've been like, I don't think you're just borderline.
Mm.
But if you think that borderlines are better than narcissists and you hate them, then okay. But you're a hypocrite.
What do you think then? What do you think to me then? Do you think I
To
am?
you,
Mm.
um,
You can
your
be
test
honest.
scores say your test scores say so. But the
Yeah.
difference between you though is that you're overt like me. You're not
Yeah.
like the whiny crying victim complex. Oh my god, my life's so horrible. You're like, yeah, no, fuck you. I don't give a fuck what you think. I'm gonna do what I want. I control me. Fuck all of you.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, that that is quite true. Like, don't get me wrong. Obviously, we all spiral from time to time, and I'm like,
Oh yeah.
oh.
Yeah.
But I try and keep my shit together. Is it possible for a BPD and an MPD to date without one of them making a breakup TikTok? One of us are going to be making a
I
TikTok.
no, I okay, a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this, but I think yes, I think it's possible, but I think it takes um I think it takes commitment, but I think it takes understanding. And in any relationship in general, whether you're cluster B or not, you
Mm.
have to work as a team. The moment you start working against each other and fighting and trying to win over the other, trying to win the fight or
Mm.
trying to get back at one another, then you're done. You're done. Issue. No relationship is perfect. Whether, like I said, whether you're cluster B or not, things are always going to be intense in the beginning, and then it's going to fade, and then difficulties are going to come up, and that's in any relationship. But you know when you're cluster B, you kind of speed run that, so you have to be aware of that things are going to not like always be perfect. So when things come up, you have to be willing to work together, but you also have to um, be understanding, know each other's triggers, and
Mm.
know how to help each other when you're having an episode, or communication. Like if you're fucking splitting, be like, hey, I'm splitting. Like I can't talk right now. Um, and I think for narcissists,
Mm.
the other partner saying, hey, when they bring something up, saying, hey, I'm not shaming you. You're not a bad person, but this made me upset. That will go a long way, because like what a lot of people don't understand about NPD is that we don't just feel shame by what you say, it's how you say it that we feel it too. Shame carries through tone. So you can say something and not mean anything by it, and all of a sudden we're fucking triggered because it's like, oh shit, oh shit. Like,
Mm.
yeah.
That makes sense. Hey, that makes sense. Yeah, I get that. That's something I can relate to as well. It's absolutely people's tones at times, and you're like, hey,
Yep.
why you say that in that way? So you can
Yeah. Yeah.
you can definitely see like the overlapping of personality disorders for sure. um, yeah, actually, yeah, it's a bit spooky. I'm just saying hello to people in the chat. We've got a few people watching. We've got people that are your friends that are watching. We have Pa. Yay, I made it on time. I can't read that user. Someone put sup Ash MJ here.
Oh, it's MJ.
Yes.
MJ. Hey.
Then we've got some of my friends and supporters here. Hello, everyone. You know who you are. Again, if you think anyone would be interested in this, give it a share and let's have some fun. So, okay. Who takes the? I kind of want to. I don't know if I'd be able to answer this for you, but who takes the breakup harder? The one with the abandonment issues, or the one that refuses to admit they care?
That's tough, because I know a lot of people don't recognize this, but a lot of narcissists also have abandonment issues. even without like a borderline comorbidity, like a lot of narcissists will have borderline traits, and a lot of them will have an abandonment wound. Uh, I think, that's hard because like narcissists don't like to admit they care. So like I can imagine, like we don't like to admit things to ourselves in general, whether it could like just things in general. So like having to constantly stop that thought from entering your mind
Yeah.
will fucking drive you mad. Like it's just like your brain's like, shut up, shut up, shut up. No, no, you're better, you're better. You don't care. You can't show them you care. You can't let them know.
Mm.
But like, but the abandonment move, man, I've seen borderlines get abandoned and it's gnarly. It's gnarly. Like I've seen them do some crazy shit.
Yeah, when I was younger. Not fucking. I mean, to be fair, even like a few months ago, before I got like myself back into therapy because I knew I was like, I am in the shitter again, you know, and I was like, I fucking need some proper treatment now. I. It don't. I do have really, really bad abandonment issues. Like, I will scream. I would like because obviously I'm loud BPD or overtly BPD. So
Yeah.
I will scream. I will shout. I will curl up in a ball. I will cry. I do have a lot more again. I do try and have more self control. It depends how the fuck you got me, to be honest. Um, but you've got someone putting in, your friend has put in the chat. Hope you're doing well, Ash. Good to be here. This is definitely interesting, and I'm here for it.
Hell yeah.
Um,
Yeah. MJ is a good dude. I love that dude.
mm,
So shout out to him.
we love that. We love that. Gem, port BPD equals you can fire me, I quit. Fair enough. Yeah, yeah. Fair enough.
No, that's fair. Yeah.
What was I gonna say? See, like I said, I don't think I've dated a narcissist, someone with NPD. I don't think I have. Have I dated abusers? Yes, but obviously they don't go together. Obviously we know that. That's what we're breaking down. So I don't know on that side. Obviously I know from my own experience with things and how I'd react, and for me when it goes through a breakup, it's I'm desperate at first to get back. Usually I'm like, I want them back so bad for like a solid 2 weeks, and I'll do like anything and any means to get to this person. And then once I'm okay after 2 weeks, I'm like, in a bit, dog shit. Don't ever speak to me ever again in my life. So, this category is like personality and perception.
Mhm.
So this is that spooky shit. Who gets misdiagnosed more? Do you reckon people with BPD or NPD? I'd say it's
Uh,
BPD personally.
I would agree BPD.
Yeah,
Um, although I would argue NPD is underdiagnosed. I would say
yeah,
BPD because I've heard a lot of I'm friends with a lot of ASPDs, and a lot of them were misdiagnosed, especially the women with BPD.
it's common in it. Yeah,
Like my platonic FP Cherry, she was misdiagnosed as borderline before she was um, properly diagnosed with ASPD, even though she had a conduct disorder diagnosis
yeah,
at 14. So I've heard a lot of other women with ASPD get diagnosed BPD. Um, but another thing, though, and a lot of people don't know, is that BPD and ASPD is another not uncommon
mm,
uh, comorbidity. It's a lower percentage than you would see in NPD,
yeah,
but it's still there. And I tell this to everybody, the borderline defense mechanisms are faulty. They don't work very well. So when we continue to go through trauma and our borderline defense mechanisms are not working, our brain will go to the next best thing. And for some people, that's going to be narcissism. For
mm,
some, that's going to be antisocial behavior. For some, they may go the avoidant route. So
mm,
AVPD, which is another comorbidity that people don't know about, avoidant personality disorder, which is a cluster C disorder.
mm.
So it just depends on your genetics, your trauma, um, but your brain will literally do anything to protect itself. So,
Literally, if you're going through that shit as a kid, it's literally
yep,
like, yo, we will do anything. I get that. We've got
yep.
Got some more people in the chat putting thing. Ash, I got diagnosed last week with ASPD and BPD. Your friend put that. Someone else put Jem put BPD is often misdiagnosed because its symptoms overlap with other disorders like depression, bipolar, and a few people take the time to look deeper. Its emotional intensity and relational struggles can be mistaken for other issues or personality flaws.
Yep.
And then someone put, oh man, that's so interesting. I wonder if I can relate more to ASPD. I don't know. Can you have both? Yeah, you can have like
Yeah.
two personality disorders, yeah.
Yep. No, you can. And that's the other thing. Like a lot of I'll be honest, a lot of these professionals are fucking idiots. They don't know what they're doing. And I don't know how, because I don't know how you go to school for 8, 10 years and don't know what the fuck you're doing. But, they'll just slap labels. And I said this to my last therapist, because when I was originally suspecting, but she couldn't diagnose me because she didn't have the credentials. I'm like, if I was a 5 foot woman with a fucking nice body and I come in saying I had sexual trauma and talking about how I was afraid of being abandoned and was showing symptoms of BPD, the first thing it would slap on me is BPD without considering anything else. But because I'm 6'2" and I'm a fucking young guy and I come in saying I think I have fucking BPD because I also have that, like it's almost like motherfuckers look at me like, what? Like they think I'm fucking crazy, like I'm just making this shit up. I wasn't, but that's how it felt.
Yeah, no, I get that. It's definitely with BPD, it's less commonly diagnosed in men. Like I've met some, but
Yeah.
it's definitely lower in the lower end.
Well, and the thing is, it's like it's more common in men than people realize. I just think that it looks different, and I think a lot of men typically become more of the quiet subtype because of how we're raised. We're told, "Oh, don't cry, be a man." Oh, stop crying, or I'll give you something to cry about, like that stuff. So we just learn to hold it in and internalize, because, well, that's what we were told to do. We were told to be a man and get over ourselves, so that's what we did.
That's it, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
societal norms that pressures put on men and stuff. Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
And then, like, you could say the opposite with women. We're looked at as extremely emotional. So,
Yep.
we're thrown with, like, BPD, so it can't be anything else. You can't be absolutely anything else. But Mason put in the chat, LOL, me. So this is a gentleman who I've worked with and work alongside with, and he's got BPD as well.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so...
Yep.
So... do you think people people overuse narcissist like it's the new toxic?
Yes, absolutely, 100%. Like, a lot of people are going to get pissed off with me saying this, but I don't give a fuck. You have a lot of these women that are like, oh, I want a good guy, I want a good man. And then they come along a good guy that, sure, is probably a little narcissistic, but they're not toxic. They just have expectations like, hey, like, I would, tell me when you're going somewhere, or, communicate, or, don't go out looking like a fucking slut. And then and then because now they're being told what to do, and when the guy is just wanting to be respected, they're wanting the relationship to be respected, they're toxic, they're a narcissist, they're abusive. And it's like, girl, you wouldn't know a fucking narcissist if you fucking saw one. Like,
definitely think it's overused, but I also think the word, like, it's the word triggered has been, like, it's lost its meaning now, its true meaning.
Yeah.
Like, so I hate now saying the word I'm triggered, because I'm like, ugh. It feels like verbal diarrhea, because I'm like, there's that many people on TikTok that have overused it for minor things. I'm like, oh, come on now, like, so I don't like to tend to say it a lot anymore.
Well, and then they've coupled, like you were talking about earlier, they've coupled it with the word abuse. Not all narcissists are abusive. Like I say in some of my videos, you wouldn't say all black people are criminals just because they're black. Same thing with any other disorder. And I know people are going to get pissed at me for making that comparison, but I don't give a fuck, because unfortunately it's the truth. You can't be stereotyping people, and, like, somebody can be physically abusive and just be a piece of shit. Doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily mean that they're a narcissist or that they have ASPD, because there are some people with ASPD that aren't physically violent.
Yeah. Yeah. The whole yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? There's things you can do. You can get treatment for stuff. We're not as limited anymore as we used to be.
No.
Um, so we've got a couple of comments. Will clips of this be posted? I'd love to see this on your guys' pages on TikTok. Yes. Um, someone put truth. Asking for respect doesn't make you toxic. And then someone put being. I need to approve that actually because I've got my moderation thing on. Being an asshole is not a personality disorder. Yep.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep.
yeah. Why do people? So why do people think NPD equals villain and BPD equals victim?
Because again, a lot of these borderlines are also covert narcissists, so they see themselves as victims and they want to be portrayed as victims to get sympathy, so that essentially they can feel justified in being toxic and acting on their maladaptive behaviors instead of being, going and getting help. They want, and you see this all over TikTok of, oh, we just want to be loved. It's your fault that you made us split. You did something to make us split. It's your fault. How is that any different than when a fucking narcissist blames you for something that you fucking that they fucking did? How's that any different? I mean, it's the same fucking thing. You can't tell me otherwise. But the other thing is that, they wanted to destigmatize BPD, which is cool, but they've done it by throwing NPD and ASPD under the bus by talking shit about us. You have all these abuse coaches that are like, narcissists are evil and demonic. They're tied to the spirit of Jezebel and Leviathan. Like, I've seen some crazy religious shit.
Some stuff like, oh, narcissists don't brush their teeth. I'm like, what?
Or that we have no empathy, which is bullshit, because I do still have some empathy. It's very selective, but I know a lot of people with BPD that also have selective empathy. And if you actually read the criteria, which it says lack of empathy, not a deficit, not a void, a lack of empathy. That's it.
Yeah. I can struggle. I can struggle sometimes. It depends. It's like I said to my therapist the other day when I got questions. She was giving me that whole like meme look from that dude from what's that fucking show that's going around now, and it's that black dude and he's looking and he's like that.
Yeah. The one cop show, right?
Yeah. And
yeah, okay.
And she was like, well, what's your empathy like? And I says, well, I have empathy for like people I'm really close to and like really close like family and friends, but I do sometimes struggle to rationalize empathy for random things and people. Sometimes I don't know. It's like I could say, oh yeah, that's a bad situation to be in that, but I can't like feel that. Yeah. So that's what it is. Dexter, that's it. That's the show, Dexter. But yeah, that's what it looks like for me. So we've got another comment saying, that was me, a jagged pill to swallow, but I played the victim for 20 years. Rock bottom has a way of forcing you to look in a mirror. That is fucking true, that actually.
That's so true. That's so true.
Yeah. That is a good quote, that actually. Yeah, you've got to. The thing is, with like splits and stuff, I've always said you've got to take accountability. You've come on now, like you still did that, regardless if you didn't have as very much control over it or not. End of the day, you are still hurting someone, and we've got to take accountability. Sorry.
Yep.
So that's it.
Always.
Do you someone with like NPD? Do you have splits? Do you what we call splits? Do you say?
Yeah. Okay. I have splits, but they're it's a little different. It's like it's more of like inferior versus superior versus inferior.
Okay.
But it's more of like it's more in a more degrading way. Like, I'm disgusted, you're vile, you're like I like you're a parasite, like you just I get pissed off even being by like people, because I'm just like I don't want to be around these fucking idiots. Like I'll literally get embarrassed, like feel embarrassed being by somebody that I think is fucking like making me look bad.
Okay. Okay.
It's very like the language is like the biggest difference, but it's like the way we devalue you. It's so degrading. It's so degrading. It's like no, you're a fucking parasite. You're an NPC. You have no brain. You're nothing. You're disgusting. I can't believe like you even think you could associate yourself with me. Like, yeah,
It's interesting. I love it though because it's so interesting to me, like how
yeah,
like people work and stuff. It's so interesting.
yeah.
So thank you for like opening up and telling us about that. That's very very interesting.
Hmm.
Um, okay, what's the most delusional thing people assume about your disorder?
Ooh. Oh, that it's caused by being a spoiled brat.
Mm, mm,
That they think that it's like, oh, they were spoiled, they're entitled, that's why that's they never had to work for anything, that's why they're that way. And it's like, even if that was the case, there's always some form of neglect, and neglect is abuse regardless.
yeah.
So there's some form of emotional neglect going on, even if the kid is spoiled
Mm,
rich. 9 times out of 10, I can guarantee it. They're not getting the emotional safety they need from one or either parent. And so their parents are replacing, authentic things with money, cars, clothes, materialistic things. So what does that teach children? It teaches you that feelings don't matter. How you feel about somebody don't matter. The only thing that matters is what you do and what that person does you do. That's how people become transactional. They don't
yeah.
value when you learn to devalue emotions and then idolize materialistic things,
Yeah.
doesn't
That,
lead to good things.
that's it. It's all these things that people don't think that like actions when you're being you got to I can speak English apparently today. So when you're bringing up a child, it really does affect you growing up, and people don't think it does,
Yeah.
but it absolutely fucking does. Um, yeah.
Well, and then these are the same parents that when their kids start acting out or showing
Mm,
issues, it's like, oh, well, it's because you're spoiled, rotten. That's why. And
yeah.
it's like, no, it's because you're emotionally neglecting your fucking kid
Yeah.
and handing them whatever they want so that you can fucking do whatever you want and not have to be emotionally present. Um, but a lot of the other people I know that have been diagnosed with NPD have been through some horrible shit.
Mm,
Horrible shit. Like, I can't even tell you. Like,
mm,
horrible shit.
mm.
So 9 times out of 10, it's caused by being treated like shit.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10.
It's protecting yourself, isn't it? Like you say.
Yeah.
So.
Well, like, for example, with me,
Mm,
like, from I never really had anybody I could like be emotionally safe with
mm,
growing up. Like, I thought I did, but I really didn't. Like, I could never truly be myself. So when you can't be yourself, when you have to rely on yourself, when you can't rely on other people, and so now you have to rely on yourself, that's what starts it. That's the first thing that starts it.
yeah. Yeah. I suppose mine's a mixture of things. It's I mean, you can probably tell I've got a lack of a father figure. So that just and then like my mum's ex-husband, not my dad, but her ex-husband was like a proper abusive and stuff, like growing up and that. And then obviously you grow up thinking these kind of relationships are the norm. Um, so I dated guys that were just horrible, like
Well, and
you know. So
yeah, well, and a fucked up thing, like you know, my mom would always be like, oh, be better than him, be better than your dad, be better than this, like, and so like now you're putting an expectation on a child that should not be put on
yeah,
your fucking child. So that was another driver of like, okay, like that was the other thing that fueled it. It's like, okay, I have to be better. I can't, you know, but unfortunately, I ended up developing the same shit that he has because of that. I mean, he's not officially diagnosed, but I know he has it. Like I'm certain. So
yeah. Well, that's it, isn't it? So, okay. So, who wins in a mirror battle? The one obsessed with being seen, or the one terrified of being abandoned?
Say that again. What was the first part of that?
Who wins in a mirror battle?
Oh, the borderline. The borderline. Like people fucking borderlines, they'll fucking take whatever you throw at them and then fucking spin it right back at you every time, every damn time. I won't even deny that every damn time.
So who apologises more,
Oh,
the
I'm here.
overthinker or the over-explainer? I think it's the overthinker, personally. I can't tell you how many times in a day I apologise. Fucking hell.
Um.
Which you've probably witnessed, to be fair, how much I say sorry, even just from our conversations. You know.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I would say overthinker. Yeah. No, that's fair.
Who blocks first after a fight?
Borderline.
I would see. I actually don't have a unless like if it's a friend, then all right, fair enough. I'll block their ass. No offense to anyone that's a friendly of you, not a favourite person. I'm sorry you don't get that privilege. But if it's like a partner, then like I'm usually the one to get blocked. So, yeah, with that one for sure. But I do know it's a very common thing with borderlines to block first for sure.
Yeah.
Someone's put in the chat to me saying that you apologise to me a lot for things you don't need to apologise for, and that's on trauma, baby. But anyway, so which is worse, needing constant validation or pretending you don't need it at all?
Needing constant validation. Because I've seen it not with me, but like other people firsthand. It's a quick way. It's a quick way to just run yourself into the ground. When you're what? Because essentially you get to a point to where you're unrealistic. Not everybody's gonna like you. Not everybody's gonna like you know. God, I just had this conversation with somebody last night. You cannot go in with an expectation and assume people to read your fucking mind and then get disappointed when that expectation's not met.
Yeah. Yeah.
People can't read your mind. Not even I can read people's minds. Like, when you rely on other people, you're just going to disappoint yourself. The only person you can rely on is yourself. So you have to love yourself to feel true confidence. If you can't love yourself, then you're just fucked. You're just fucking yourself.
Yeah, I am. I fucking hate myself. I have a real issue with that, which is something I'm working on. But
Well, with these disorders, I don't think we'll ever truly feel it, truly get to a norm, but I think we'll get to a point to where we're not going to feel insecure as often.
Yeah, that's a good
It'll be to a more normal level. Yeah.
How do NPDs and BPDs handle rejection differently? Meltdown or ego death?
I think that with narcissists, we will gaslight and deny things, saying that, oh, we deserved better anyway, or they didn't deserve us, or like we'll gaslight ourselves to cope. Whereas borderlines kind of just will degrade themselves and saying like, what did I do wrong? Why can't I just be loved? What's so wrong with me? Yeah, very different defense mechanisms there. And I've done a little bit of both in the past.
We took it very personal. I had someone message me, and it's no shade. Like, they were very respectful. Like, don't get me wrong, absolutely respectful. They were like, can you stop sending me TikToks? And I was like, yeah, no problem. But internally, I was like, oh, does this person fucking hate me? Even though rationally, I'm like, no, they don't. And they were really fucking polite about that. Thank you, And I was polite back to them. But there was still that feeling you get in your chest where I was like, oh, that hurt that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's It's a strange thing. So, who falls in love faster and who falls out of love faster?
Hmm.
I think
I don't
BPD
know.
people fall in love faster. Fucking hell.
Yeah, I don't know. That's hard because like I said, the phases of those relationships are very similar. We just devalue differently. That's really the only difference. Where lines will split back and forth. Whereas I've heard, I don't do the slow burn thing. I don't like do the slow devaluation because again, I also have BPD. But I've heard of people that are like strictly NPD. They'll kind of do the slow burn of where each time the value is say less and less and less. I don't do that. Like I said, that's because I also have BPD. But I would say that the narcissists probably are more likely to fall out of love faster. 100%. They'll emotionally detach from you before you even realize it.
Yeah.
And it's always because of something fucking stupid. Like, oh, you told them no, or like, the moment that image is fractured, it's hell from there. So, and that's on both sides. So,
Yeah. This is my own question. Do you reckon a relationship can work between people that have BPD and NPD? Is that a thing that could work, do you reckon?
oh, absolutely, 100%. But both people have to want to change and be better. They have to want to put in the work, and they have to communicate. They have to be honest. The narcissist has to be vulnerable. Like, they're it can absolutely work 100%, no doubt in my mind. It takes willingness, but what I will say, most people don't have that.
Yeah. It's
Most
hard.
people don't have the will.
Yeah,
Most people don't
these
want to put in.
days.
Most people don't want to put in the work.
Yeah, for sure these days. I can agree with that, yeah.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people are willing to work on their relationships and stuff. It's,
No,
and
no,
if
because
they
they think,
do,
oh, I can just go find somebody else. I can just go
yeah,
on Tinder or whatever and go find somebody else. And yeah, you'll find somebody else, but you're just going to repeat the same fucking cycle again, and then end up disappointed like you were the last time.
yeah. So this is around social media, this category
Okay.
now. So, which personality type dominates TikTok right now? BPD and healing era, or NPD main character energy?
Yeah, BPD and healing error. That's so fucking easy. Oh my god. Yeah, no, I get annoyed by some of them.
Who's more likely to post a cryptic story about their ex?
A girl with BPD that's also a covert narcissist but in denial about it.
Fair. Um, who is more likely to start a fight in the comments section and then say, I don't even care?
A narcissist. A narcissist, 100%.
Do you think social media has romanticized both disorders in a weird way?
Not NPD at all. People. They have romanticized ASPD though, and that's weird as shit. That is weird as fuck. As far as BPD, yeah, it's romanticized, and it's annoying. It's honestly just annoying. It's like,
Yep.
no, you don't realize what you're getting into. Like, they're not this manic pixie dream girl that you think they are. You have no clue what you're up for, and you're gonna be fucking disappointed when you realize that everything's not gonna be all sweet and dandy, and they're not gonna be obsessed with you 24/7. That when they split, they're gonna treat you like shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of truth there. I'm just reading some
So
comments saying, this is seriously making me question my diagnosis, but in a good way, something to reflect on, turning real pain and struggles into a trend or aesthetic. Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
People do that. I get sick of it, and I've seen it, and it's like you'll see like 13-year-olds being like, I have BPD. I'm like, You're 13 years old. You cannot even get diagnosed at that age, man. Like, come off it. No,
No,
you're not
and,
even
and
there.
at,
So,
at 13, you
yeah.
would just at 13 you would just start showing symptoms if you did have it.
Yeah.
You would just start. You'd maybe have 2 or 3 traits, not 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not
Exactly.
5.
And you see stuff and they're like, oh, I did this today and I dyed my hair. And I'm thinking, you ain't got a clue. The shit I used to do. The shit. And I'm thinking, you'd run a fucking mile. Rightfully so, people. But fucking hell. No, it's real pain. I don't think people, if you don't have a personality disorder, you don't tend to really fully grasp the kind of pain we do internally go through, though, I think, at least. Um, yeah, so.
No.
Uh,
Yeah.
So, this is the spicy rage bait section. This is what it's called. So,
Okay.
who's louder, the person crying in public or the one silently judging everyone in the room?
What was the first? Who's what?
Who's louder, the person crying in public or the one silently judging everyone in the room?
I think the one crying in public.
I'd say that, yeah. Yeah. Who's more dangerous in an argument, the one who disassociates or the one who debates like it's a TikTok live?
The TikTok live one for sure.
Which one would survive longer in a group chat argument? MPD or BPD?
NPD. We have better defense mechanisms.
Yeah, yeah, true. I'm just like, nah, fuck it, I'm out of here. Right. I can't. To be honest, these days I don't even tend to like to argue with people. I'm out, mate.
No, I don't either. Unless they really say something, then.
Yeah.
But I like to do this thing now where sometimes I'll intentionally say something, like even though I know it's not going to go anywhere, where I do it just because I want to toy with them, and they fall for it every goddamn time. It's like, you're so fucking pathetic that you seriously think I actually give a fuck. Like they don't even realize I'm toying with them, and it's hilarious. Yeah.
So, is BPD just NPD but with more crying, or is NPD just BPD with better boundaries?
I would say they're 2 sides of the same coin. We have a lot of the same. Well, I would say this goes for all the cluster B. We have the same wounds. We just have different defectionisms. And the one thing that we're all trying to avoid is loss. Like, I mean, if you think about it, we're all like, we might feel it differently and express it differently, but between the 4 disorders, we're all trying to cope with some form of loss, whether emotionally or mentally. Like, the whole, like, we just cope with it in different ways. Borderlines will try to grasp things to avoid loss, whereas narcissists will stay in denial. They live in delusion to avoid reality. Histrionics, they seek for attention to try and feel whole on the inside. And then antisocials they've shut everything off. They've shut off their emotions so that they can't lose anything. It's like, well, if I don't care for anyone, then I can never be hurt. You know?
Yeah. Coping mechanisms.
But we're all
again,
trying
isn't
to.
It? So.
Yeah, but we're all trying to avoid loss. All of us. So that's.
If BPD and MPD were characters in a movie, who's the villain and who's the tragic backstory?
The MPD would. It could be either way. It could be either way. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. It could be either way. But if you want to watch a movie that is like a classic representation of like a stereotype narcissist borderline relationship, Lonely Hearts. It's got like Beverly D'Angelo in it. Really good representation of like the stereotype borderline narcissist relationship.
There you go, guys. Watch that then. Watch that. I'm sick of hearing BoJack Horseman all the fucking time on my TikTok. I was like a
I mean, yeah, it's relatable. It's relatable, but it's just overused. It's overused.
Yeah.
If you guys want another really good representation of a grandiose narcissist, you have to watch Lucifer.
Yeah.
You have like watch all 6 seasons. The symbolism is crazy. They explain narcissism in depth in your fucking face without you realizing it. That is like if I was a TV character, I'd be him, legitimately. Like we like I swear I'm like the real life version of him.
What I think is a good representation of someone with BPD is the girl from is it Arcane, the blue hair girl. I don't know if you've seen that. Someone in the chat might have. She has pretty tragic childhood, very traumatic, and she gets older.
Oh, you're talking about? I haven't seen it, but I've seen clips of it on TikTok. Are you talking about the one with Kate Winslet in it?
It's she's called Jinx. I think someone's put in the chat. I don't remember the name.
Oh, that one. Yeah. No, but there's a movie that's got Kate Winslet in it, and she's like a borderline character. Um, I think a good representation of like a male borderline character would be like I don't know the name of the movie, but I keep seeing clips on it. It's got Hayden or oh my god, why can't I think of the guy that played fucking that played Anakin, Hayden
Oh,
Christensen or whatever the hell his name is.
I can't
Is it? Am
remember
I
his
saying that right?
name. I can't remember his name, but I know who
But
you're on about.
in the movie he had like black hair and a bunch of piercings and like I keep seeing clips. It's like no, that's like a like the clips I've seen. I haven't watched the whole thing, so I can't say for sure. But like that would be like a good representation of like a I guess like a male borderline character.
So what is it you want to say to people then? What is it something you want to get across to people on social media about that, to break down stigmas and things like this? I want to give you the floor essentially right now, and you
Mm-hmm.
go right ahead.
Well, I would say that, you know, we're all more alike than we think, and we need to just respect that. I'm not saying we all need to be buddy buddies and fucking touching butts and stuff, but like we need to at least like respect our differences, but work together to destigmatize all the disorders so that we can get the help we need. Because at the end of the day, and at the end of the day, this isn't about us. This is about future generations. This is like, how do we mitigate the spread of these disorders to our kids and our grandkids?
We need to
That's what the goal.
coexist.
That's what the goal should be. And like we're damaged. Okay, like we can't fix that. We can learn to manage our disorders, but we're never going to like they say, oh yeah, remission. Well, yes, you can get into remission to where you don't meet the criteria, but you have to keep yourself there. If you don't maintain and use your DBT skills and everything else, you will fall out of remission so fucking quick. And that's for any of the disorders. But the goal should be how do we prevent this from happening to the current generation and future generations? Is it going to be perfect? No. Like your personality disorders have always been a thing. They're always going to be a thing. But it's like, how can we mitigate it? But how can we find better treatment? Because better treatment, like that should be the thing. We should all be fighting for better treatment for all of us, not just for BPD or NPD. It should be for all of us, because these disorders are extremely, hard to treat. And I would argue that ASPD and HPD are harder to treat than borderline and narcissism, to be honest with you.
That's a good take. That I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of other questions I could ask you. To be fair, because we've gone through ours, but I've always got little questions I could always ask you.
Yeah.
So, and chat. If you've got any questions for our guest, put them in the chat, and I'll read them out to him. Go right ahead. I'm sure he won't mind anyway. But do you think it's more common in men or women to have NPD?
I would say it's probably close to a 50-50. But the thing that you're going to notice is that 9 times out of 10, female narcissists will be coverted because of how they're raised. They're told they're not allowed to be narcissists. Like,
Mm,
they're not to be allowed to be openly arrogant,
mm,
um, and I guess narcissistic. That's like because it's seen as like, I guess like male behavior. I guess I
yeah.
don't know. They're kind of you know taught to be more ladylike or be respectful or be this or be that. They're not allowed to express their true nature and be well narcissistic. And what a lot of people don't know is that I am the cure to narcissism. As well, not the cure, but the treatment.
Mm,
Um, they like they like, and my therapist has been doing this with me. Like, the best way to treat it is to flip you into your grandiosity,
mm,
because over and covert are just self states.
mm,
But some are going to be more primarily covert, some are going to be more primarily overt. I'm more primarily overt, and I've always been that way. I just got lucky. It's also because of trauma, because it's like I did not want to be I didn't realize it was covert, but I was always disgusted by that behavior. So I was like, no, I'm going to be me.
mm,
But and but a lot of these coverts are afraid to flip into their grandiosity because they don't want to drop the victim card.
mm,
And a lot of borderlines are that way too. They don't want to drop their victim card.
mm.
And it's like everybody's got to lose their V card at some point, you know.
Yeah, no, I get
Um,
you. I get you.
but like, um, oh my god, where was I going with it? But what you'll see with men is that there's a higher percentage of overt narcissists because men are allowed to be that way. Men are allowed to be openly arrogant and condescending. Um,
Mm,
it's more societally acceptable for a man to be more overt. Look at Donald Trump, for example. Like, he's a good representation of that. Whereas women are not allowed to be that way. If women act that way, they're called all kinds of fucking nasty things.
yeah, yeah, I get you. Yeah, that makes sense. So we've got a question in the chat.
Okay.
How do you differentiate between healthy self-esteem and narcissistic traits?
Um, you're confident, but not too confident. Too confident that you think you're better than everybody, or that there's like a need to prove
Mm,
that you're better. True confidence is within itself. Like, if you're truly confident, you don't need to show off. You don't need to prove anything to anybody because you're confident. The moment you have to start to prove something to somebody, that's insecurity.
yeah, I get you. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Um, okay, guys. If we don't have any more questions, I'm going to wrap it up. Um, thank you for coming on today. It's been really good.
Always.
Yeah, it's been great to have you all here, guys. Have a lovely evening, and you take care.